Alright folks, how you doing? So in this video I'm going to be reading from the book The Holy Land of Scotland by Barry Dunford, and this is on page 153. And by the way, this book is not easy to get these days, so if you can get your hands on it, I would highly recommend it. The concept of the earth being hollow is one which has been written about for at least the past century or so. In 1920, Marshall B. Gardner produced a revised edition of an earlier work published in 1913 entitled A Journey to the Earth's Interior. In his second edition, the author produces a diagrammatic plate showing the Earth as a hollow planet with an opening entrance at the North Pole. What is significant is that a photograph taken by the SS-7 satellite on 23rd of November 1968 over the North Pole without cloud cover clearly reveals a substantial circular opening which, it is claimed, was subsequently navigated by Rear Admiral Richard E. Byrd, United States Navy, on a secret expedition made in 1947. Over a period of time, much material has been written about the hollow earth theory, and recently a book has been published which suggests that all the planets in the universe may be hollow, a creative principle which may hold true throughout the stellar worlds. In more recent times, the theory of a hollow earth is generally believed to have first been investigated by an American writer, William Reed, in 1906, and subsequently by another American, Marshall B. Gardner, as previously mentioned. However, what is not so well known is that in 1898, a 48-page booklet was produced entitled The Secret of the Poles. The author was a Captain Henry Campion, and his treatise was published in Birmingham, England. In advance of the aforementioned two American hollow earth researchers, Campion wrote that the earth was hollow with entrances at both the North and South Pole. To again quote Dr. Raymond Bernard from his book The Hollow Earth 1979, quote, "The theories of Reed and Gardner found confirmation in the Arctic and Antarctic expeditions of Rear Admiral Richard E. Byrd in 1947 and 1956 respectively, which penetrated for 1,700 miles beyond the North Pole and 2,300 miles beyond the South Pole, into a new unknown iceless territory not recorded on a map, extending inside the polar depressions and openings that lead to the hollow interior of the Earth. Admiral Byrd's discovery is today a leading international top secret, and it has been so since it was first made in 1947. After Byrd made his radio announcement from his plane, and after a brief press notice, all subsequent news on the subject was carefully suppressed by government agencies. There was an important reason for this. Before he left on his 7-hour flight from his Arctic base over iceless lands beyond the North Pole, leading to the interior of the Earth, Admiral Byrd said, "I would like to see that land beyond the pole. That area beyond the pole is the centre of the great unknown." In November 1955, before embarking on his South Pole expedition, Admiral Byrd stated, quote, "This is the most important expedition in the history of the world." Further, a radio announcement from Byrd's Antarctic expedition, confirmed by the American press of February 5th, 1956, stated, quote, "On January 13th, members of the United States expedition accomplished a flight of 2,700 miles from the base at McMurdo Sound, which is 400 miles west of the South Pole, and penetrated a land extent of 2,300 miles beyond the pole. On his return from this South Pole expedition, Admiral Byrd on March 13th, 1956, remarked that, quote, "The present expedition has opened up a vast new territory." Rear Admiral Byrd died the following year at 68 years of age. In support of the hollow earth theory, an intriguing tale is recorded in a book entitled Belden, the White Chief, or 12 Years Among the Wild Indians of the Plains, which was published in 1870 in the USA. The book is a compilation edited by General James S. Brisbane from the diaries and manuscripts of George P. Belden, who is described as, quote, the adventurous white chief, soldier, hunter, trapper, and guide. On page 52 is recorded part of Belden's conversation with a North American Plains Indian squaw named Washtela. The pertinent extract reads as follows: Washtela, tell me where your people first came from. Long, long ago, she said, they lived in the earth, which is hollow, but one day they came to an opening and came out. When, liking the outside best, they stayed and would not return. My own father once saw the hole they came out of, but I never saw it, as it is far down the Missouri where the white man lives. The North American Indian inner earth notion is further supported in Archaic Britain, 1919, by Harold Bailey, who says, quote, the Mandan Indians of North America have a curious legend suggestive of the idea that they must have sprung from some troglodyte race. The whole Mandan nation, it is said, once resided in one large village underground near a subterranean lake. There is seemingly some like relation between this legend and the tradition held by certain hill tribes of the old Konkan kingdom in India, who have a belief that their ancestors came out of a cave in the earth. To conclude, it would appear that Mount Schehallien is a holy mountain geomantic vortex in alignment with Mount Moriah and Mount Sinai in the Middle East, with a portal into the inner earth domain. Significantly, it is situated at the geographical centre of the Holy Land of Scotland. So I hope you've enjoyed that passage from the book of the same name, and thank you very much for listening. Feel free to leave comments below